All right. Just waiting for Phil to show up. And it is time for the Mighty Nuff Said Reading Club. As soon as Phil gets on, we will get this thing going. Sorry about the lighting. I'm still working on the lighting. We got all sorts of new lights and everything here, but we're not set up properly yet. But we did get Stan. So we now have a cameo for every show that we do. Okay, let me see if I can pull up what we're doing tonight. And I don't want what's coming up next. I want what's coming up on this series. Hey, Phil.
Hey.
So you ready for this thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me get this. I'm going to get the names wrong. I'm going to just warn you right now. Welcome to the I'll start it right now. Welcome to the Mighty Nuff Said Reading Club. I am Rob Southgate. With me is
Phil Parrish.
Hey, Phil, how you doing?
Good.
All right, I got to put my my logo on here. Oh, what do you know? It already dumped what I just did. I just did this. I just finished recording Nuff Said, and the logo is there. So, Phil, tonight we're talking Runaways. We're talking the series that Brian K. Vaughan did, the first one. What was that, 2003?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it was 2003.
And, I put all the notes in the show notes about, details about it and everything. It ran 18 issues. It was one contained story. What did you think, man? You hadn't read this before, right?
Yeah, no, this was the first time I actually read this. I haven't read any of the Runaways stuff. I enjoyed the beginning of it, and I enjoyed towards the end, like everything from like Cloak and Dagger on. But it seemed like almost dragged for me a little in the middle.
Okay, you mean when they first run away?
Yeah, it seemed like they were just like hanging out, hiding out for a while, which I understand. But it just seemed like there's a few issues in the middle there, like maybe like right around the time they met the vampire, that it got a little slow for me.
And to tell you the truth, that was the part that I thought was weak also. The first issue I thought was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
When the whole setup, they find out about their parents. We can spoil some of this. I don't want to give the big spoiler though. Okay.
Okay.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, let's run through this before I get to that. Brian K. Vaughan is the writer on this. Adrian Alphona is the illustrator. Takeshi Miyazawa is another illustrator on this. Basic premise is these kids all have to go to like not a sleepover, but they have to go to like one of their parents' parties. We've all been in that situation. Your parents get together with their friends and they shove you in a rec room or something, right? And you kind of get the explanation they've done this before. It's like an annual thing, maybe not even annual, maybe it's like quarterly, something like that. And they find a secret passage and they witness their parents dressed as supervillains sacrifice a young girl. That's the part I was shocked. I'm like, they didn't just do some kind of sacrifice. They picked a teenage girl, one that was like their age.
Mm-hmm.
So the kids freak out. This is all first issue. Kids freak out and run away. Hence the name Runaways. And then the rest of it is about how they're unpacking the fact they're the kids of supervillains. They have powers that start unlocking, which made perfect sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the reveals of the powers were great. And I thought the reveals later in the series of the parents regarding the powers was pretty exceptional.
Oh yeah.
The vampire storyline was all right. I like the vampire, but that it did drag in there, especially the issue just before the vampire. It was like kind of boring. And when he turned to a vampire, you're like, oh, okay, good. At least he's not some boring teenager.
It felt like they were killing time, maybe trying to drag it out for at least an issue or two there.
Yeah, and I don't know why, because it was such a tight story, and it had a definite arc. It had a beginning, middle, end. All of it was great. And then there were, like you said, a couple issues that I didn't think they were bad. It's like if I was reading it week to week, it might have lost me.
Yeah.
It might have been one of those where you're like, okay, I might come back to it after a few issues to see if anything's happened. Whereas reading it the way we read it, I read it on Marvel U. I don't know about you,
Yes,
but
me too.
I read it right through, and it was great.
Yeah, well, that's the other good thing. Like I said, I got a little bored. So the one night I stopped reading, I went and I read some other stuff on Marvel U, and then I came back like I don't know an hour later and kept reading.
Yeah.
So that's the power of Marvel. That's the good thing about Marvel U. You know, if you can always stop, pick up something
go back.
else.
Yeah. All right. So characters here. First of all, I thought they did an exceptional job. We'll start with the parents. This supervillains, I totally bought that these were supervillains. The only issue that I had was that they said there were no superheroes on the West Coast, and we know that's not true. But the fact that they have kind of run this as a secret society, they do these things. I thought the storyline of them tying into the Eternals, I think those are the Eternals, was really, really great. I bought all of that. And I thought these supervillains, I was like, they were good enough that it made me want to look them up and see if they were in other things, and they're not.
Yeah.
So
I think it worked out good where they started out where, you know, none of the characters, the kids or their parents were like established characters. But later on, they brought it all into the Marvel universe because we get Cloak and Dagger later on. Captain America is towards the end of the series.
I actually kind of thought the Cloak and Dagger part was another kind of weak spot. I liked it, but I didn't love it. And I like Cloak and Dagger, and it just kind of felt like it turned into, I don't know, ABC Family for a couple episodes.
They weren't the best issues, but I did like that they brought in these established characters and their motives were believable because they had been runaways at one point.
Yes.
And
all that made sense, but it just, I don't know. Those issues were a little bit of a low point for me too. And we should say this up front. When we're talking a low point, it doesn't mean like, oh, it sucks, you shouldn't be doing this. No. This is a great series. Read all 18 issues. They're really, really great. So we had those, and then we have the kids. And I thought the design on the kids was really great. A lot of times when they do a younger team, I tend to feel that it's just kind of a carbon copy of other characters that are, oh, they're younger, and now it's the young Hulkling or whatever. Those don't do it for me as much. Like they mash up other characters. These seemed original. This is like when the New Mutants first came out. I was a huge fan of the New Mutants when it first came out. I know I'm older than you, Phil. You're like, I remember when it was in its 15th printing. But when the New Mutants came out, they were so different than the other X-Men or the other books like that. I thought it was really cool back then. This had that same feel to me where I'm like, yeah, I like Alex with his essentially gauntlets. I was like, okay, first I thought, oh, he's going to be a little bit like Daisy from, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I'm like, no, he had some really cool abilities and it was all about his mind. I'm like, okay, he's your Reed Richards, even though he's this goofy surfer dude. The one that I didn't think I was going to like because it seemed a little lame, but I really dug was Arsenic and Old Lace.
Yes.
At first I thought that was going to be lame, and I thought that was a really great arc. Thought those characters were awesome.
I did appreciate it that like the kids had like their own individual personalities,
Oh, definitely.
There's always a danger where, some stories, the writers, if they don't do it right, they can make kids have like almost the same personality. They have different personalities. The powers varied because they each got their powers from different sources. Like, I forget what her name is, but the one girl, her parents were aliens.
That's Karolina.
Yeah.
And turns out she's alien, but she didn't know it. Once again, I thought that was really cool. I didn't really like that character very much. Not just because I didn't like the personality of the character. I wasn't drawn to that character, but I did like when we saw the powers and what it was doing. I thought that was pretty cool. And I did like that she called herself Lucy in the Sky. I thought that was a good name.
Yes.
I thought that was pretty good. Nico was great. With the black magic. And now Nico is Sister Grimm. She calls herself Sister Grimm, but Sister Grimm is in New Avengers now.
I'm not sure.
She's somewhere. I've seen her before. She's in some of the Marvel games. Her powers grow over time. But I thought stuff like she has this staff that when she gets, is she the one that has to get hurt for it to come out?
Yeah, blood has to be drawn. Yeah, yeah.
Blood gets drawn and a staff comes out of her chest and then she has a weapon. I thought that was really very different. It introduces magic here. We had magic, we had alien, we had like we had superpowers, we had it all. We had Chase, which was he was the Pride. No, the Pride was the group of bad guys.
The group, yeah.
Yes. Chase is the son, right? Is he the son of the two leaders of that? Oh no, he's the inventor kid.
Yeah.
He's the inventor kid. Yeah. Alex is. Oh man, I'm getting so confused. I think Alex is the one that is really smart. He's the one that sits there with the book the whole time. So he's your Reed Richards, basically.
Sure, yeah.
But the Chase Stein, he's the one I was saying was like Reed Richards because he was brilliant with these things.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we didn't see it yet, his parents were, and we knew it was going to evolve into that. Gertrude.
Mm-hmm.
So Gert, was she the really young one? Or no, that was Molly. Molly was fantastic.
You should remember that. Come on.
I know, but Molly was fantastic with how she was like super powered. And the best thing of that was how she would use her powers and then had to sleep. She was drained. Yes. And you're like, okay, over time, she's going to grow into these powers, and that's not going to be the case. But she's a kid. She was like 10 or 11 or something.
Yeah, and she had like Hulk-like strength, and she's like 10 years old.
Crazy strength. Yeah. So that was fantastic. And the whole thing of her missing her parents and not understanding. I mean, imagine a kid being thrown into this. Really tough.
Oh yeah.
And Gertrude, that was Old Lace, Arsenic and Old Lace.
Yes.
So there you go. Those were the kids. I thought they were all really, really great. I wonder though, the TV show. Do you think that they are going to follow these kids? Do you think they're going to go with some of the later versions? I kind of hope they do this storyline.
I'm thinking, I mean, they could use all these characters because they're not like big parts of the Marvel universe, where they're like, mixed in with the Avengers or X-Men or some other team where they have to worry about the rights and all this and storylines. I mean, they could do this exactly the way they did it.
It's going to be on Hulu, and I wonder if they will try to like tie it in because like Cloak and Dagger is going to be on Freeform. Why not cross promote? Why not have Cloak and Dagger on this show, even just to counsel them because they're Runaways? I mean, I think that might be an interesting thing. And the ending. Now, I'm not going to give away the twist. There's a great twist, I thought. Mm-hmm. The ending of them getting saved essentially by the Avengers, what happens there, and how it resolves, I thought was really, really great. It made me want to go on and read the next series.
Yeah.
You feel the same way?
Oh yeah, I haven't yet, but yeah, I totally plan on reading the next series.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. What was your favorite thing in this? Because I have something that I loved that was minor, but what is there anything in this that you're like, oh yeah, this was super cool, this really stood out?
Well, they had me guessing. I won't spoil it, but they had a traitor in their midst.
That was great. That was great.
I kind of figured it out close to the end, but yeah, it had me guessing for a while. Yeah,
me too. But you know what? Even when you kind of had it figured out, there was still a shadow of doubt. It was never like definite. But who it ends up being is who I had determined it was by then.
Yeah.
But I still felt the shock when it was revealed.
Oh yeah. Just the interactions they had with the other members of the team. Yeah.
Well, and they do a great job of making everybody a suspect.
Oh yeah.
All believable. No, the thing I was going to say that I loved was because it fit with this team was their ship, the Leapfrog.
Mm.
That goofy frog thing. It reminded me very much of like Guardians, like kind of that world of like interesting ships and things we haven't seen before that don't look real military. Because most of this stuff looks like Shield made it. Tony Stark Industries made this. This thing looked like a big metal frog, and the one guy figures out how to drive it. I was like, this is just really, really cool.
And it's a frog. It's
frog.
something kids would ride in.
Yes, it was good. So we're recommending this series. I am highly. Are you?
Yes, I recommend it for a first-time reader of this. Yes, definitely go check it out.
And I put in the show notes what issues, what year, who the writers are. You can go right to Amazon and find it. I tell you what, something we're going to be doing going forward is we will put links to Amazon on our webpage. There's no way I'm getting it done this week, but going forward, and I'll put it back on this. So eventually it'll be here. So if you click on the link, it'll take you to Amazon, and that actually will give us a little commission, but it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it'll be the exact things that we're talking about. So there's another little thing you can do for Nuff Said, and to support us while at the same time really checking out an awesome, awesome book. Yes. So Phil, give your social media, and then I want you to tell what we're doing next week.
Okay. You could, I'm on Twitter at NightwingPDP. My email is nightwingpdp@gmail.com. And basically I podcast, on the Southgate Media Group, just, anything Marvel Comics or DC Comics. So, just check out southgatemediagroup.com.
And this weekend, check out Phil and Charlie, and then Phil and Tyler are going to be on the YouTube live podcast marathon that we have going on October 1st. Yes. It runs 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. Central Time. And you're going to want to check out, it's going to be on YouTube. It's complicated. I mean, you can follow it on social media. We'll send out the stuff, but it's YouTube/C/Southgate Media Group, all one word, /live. Or go to our Twitter or go to our Facebook and click on the link. Go to our website. It's on our website. It'll be everywhere. Go to our YouTube channel. It's right there. If you click on it, it'll take you right to it. The Twitter for Nuff Said is @NuffSaidPodcast. Follow us there. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Pinterest. We have a board. Follow us on Facebook. Get on our email list. Like us, rate us, and review us. Do it on YouTube. Do the show on iTunes and Stitcher and wherever else you get it. Google Play too. But all that stuff helps. It helps fuel this show. It's how we can afford things like the Stan doll. So next week we're going to change it. So this is a little Nuff Said logo. So that's right, because Stan buys into it, right? Excelsior. So that's it. We're out of here. Phil.
Oh wait, are we gonna say what we're doing next week?
Do it, and then you get to say Nuff Said.
All right. Well, next episode, we're going to be doing the classic Born Again storyline from Daredevil.
Oh, you had the pop vinyl.
Yeah. Oh, I got both of them. Red and yellow.
Nice. Oh, wonderful.
All right. So, yeah. So, if you're reading along with us at home, it's on Marvel U. I know it's in trade paperback.
Yeah, pick up the trade paperback. That is such a great book. Oh, my gosh.
I think you can even get the back issues pretty cheap, but it's Daredevil 227 to 233.
Yeah,
it's the classic Frank Miller storyline. It's a really good Daredevil story, but at the same time,
well, spoiler, we're gonna like this one, but it's gonna be it's great to read it. It's great to talk about it because this is one of my touchstones, so I can't wait to talk about it next week.
It's a good Daredevil story, but it's not like a classic superhero story. So if you're not like completely in the superheroes, you still might like this.
Yep.
All right.
Well, that's it. Let's take it out, Phil.
All right, everyone. Come back next week. Nuff Said.
Nuff Said.